I'm posting today as I just heard that the U.S. Department of Education's Chicago office has been closed. And on December 23rd, I received a letter about my case number and gave me 20 days to get his records into them. My son Mac is 15, and it's been a 5-year battle to try to get services and try to get an appropriate IEP for a young man who came from the foster care system, who they thought could never do anything. Why do we need the Office of Civil Rights? Because it shouldn't be this hard to prove that my child has been discriminated against, or to prove retaliation, that they use parental bias when in their decisions, and also obstruction in my rights to advocate for my son Mac. This is Mac at the beginning of the pandemic. He's now 15. He's lost his friends. He's lost access to schooling. And look at all this paper. 2 OCR complaints back in 2021, 2 Wisconsin DPI, IDEA, FAPE validated complaints against my district, a school that doesn't seem to think that rules matter, and we went to due process when the burden of proof should have been on the district, not on me. But in the meantime, I'm not going to give up, and I will pay for a parent IEE. But they kept saying during due process my child was uneducatable and that they tried. Well, the state, accessibility people for the forward exam helped Mac get to take the forward exam, even though he's legally blind and he's legally deaf, and they said that he can't learn. Well, I found Mac's comprehension in kindergarten was at grade level. When it was read for him in 2nd and 3rd grade, it was at grade level. And then the pandemic hit, and I fought for his right to have anybody, and he hasn't even had a teacher much of this time. Yes, we finally have a teacher, but we still have no baselines. So the Office of Civil Rights needs to exist for cases like Mac's to look at when you've gone through all the rights that are in the Special Ed Procedural Safeguards book, that they're supposed to look at this stuff. And now, my son's records, including the due process binder, where the transcript can prove retaliation, bias, other things, and it's sitting in the Chicago office, and now the office is abandoned. So what happens to Mac's rights? It's been 5 years, and some of these kids have been failed desperately by the pandemic and by the fact that all kids can return to school. But what happened when you were homebound in the first place? Well, we'll give him that when he gets to school. Or he's supposed to do, he's an independent learner. Mac has cerebral palsy. His eyes cannot work. You have to target what he needs to see. He can't see and hear at the same time. He needs an intervener. Where are the rights for kids like Mac? They're being stripped. And what happens to his rights as Medicaid goes down? And it was promised to us that he would have what he needs as part of his federal adoption assistance. What is going to happen to him after 18? Wisconsin has amazing home and community-based waivers, but will they exist? What will happen to his school for all the kids that are there who need a parapro and get speech, PT, OT, and all of these services that are funded for Medicaid for the school districts. And if the cuts come from the federal cuts, Wisconsin only gets 30% on kids like Mac. So they're already limiting what we can get because there's such a funding shortage. So what's going to happen? But if the ADA goes down, like 17 states are asking for, Mac will have no rights whatsoever anywhere. So I'm speaking out. The system is stacked against all of us. And for kids like Mac, it shouldn't be this hard.